different components of the IC engine. See, this picture indicates different components of the IC engine. Right from the top, we will see the different components of the IC engine. So this is the cylinder head cover. This is the cylinder head over which the cylinder head cover is fitted with the use of cylinder head cover gasket. So in between cylinder head and cylinder head cover, there is a gasket which prevents the leakage of the gases. The next important portion or part is the cylinder head. This cylinder head contains valve mechanism, then inlet manifold. See, this is the inlet manifold which is fitted at the one side of the cylinder head, and this is the exhaust manifold which is fitted at the opposite side of the intake manifold. It is fitted with suitable exhaust manifold or inlet manifold gasket to prevent the leakage of the gases. Cylinder head is fitted over the cylinder block. This is the cylinder block. It contains number of cylinders according to the types of engine. If our engine is 4-cylinder 4-stroke engine, then it contains 4 cylinder in the block. So generally, this is the cylinder block in which cylinder is either cylinder is fitted or there may be cylinder bore inside the engine block. At the lower part of the cylinder engine block, the oil pan or we can say crankcase is fitted. This crankcase contains it is a pan shape or we can say bowl shape, and it contains lubricant oil which is used by the lubricating system for lubricating the engine. So these all are the different parts of the engine. Here we have crankshaft, camshaft that will come in the pictures as and when we proceed. We can have engine block or cylinder block of this type which contain cylinder bore inside. If engine is 4-stroke engine with 4 cylinder, then it has 4 cylinder bore in which cylinder is there, in which piston rotate with the reciprocating motion. This cylinder block is casted generally with cast iron or steel alloy or we can say aluminum alloy. It is a solid casting which includes the cylinder, then water jackets in case of the water cooling system is there in and also fins in case of the air cooling engines. Engine cylinder is most important part of the engine in which air fuel mixture is burnt and useful power is produced inside the cylinder. As cylinder block contains cylinder, then combustion chamber is there inside the cylinder. So it gets lot of heat during the burning of the fuel at the end of the compression stroke, and that's why it is necessary to cool down this entire block with the we can say our cylinder piston system. So it is necessary to have certain cooling system, either maybe water cooling system or air cooling system according to the type of the engine. During the burning of the fuel at the end of the compression stroke, the temperature inside the combustion chamber goes up to 1600 degrees Celsius. So to protect the various parts such as cylinder, piston, connecting rod, valve mechanism as well as the cylinder head, it is quite obvious to reduce the temperature of the system. Generally, 40% of the heat is removed with the exhaust gases which are going out during the exhaust stroke, and 30% of the heat is generally reduced by efficient cooling system adopted in case of the engine. So this entire block with cylinder is efficiently cooled with the cooling system. Only 30% of the heat that is generated by the burning of the fuel is used as a useful work in our IC engine. Generally, in some cases, this type of sleeve instead of we can say cylinder, there is sleeve is used which is replaceable and having very smooth surface which can withstand high temperature. So as and when it requires, it can be replaced with another new piece of cylinder sleeve. So cost of removal will be less. The material of the cylinder is generally cast iron. Cylinder probe is generally cast iron, casted with the cast iron. In some cases, steel alloy is used, and for light engine, it may be of aluminum alloy. So, generally, cylinder probe is manufactured generally casting or forging method, or we can say heat treatment or any machining methods. Now, our second part is cylinder head. Cylinder head is fitted over the cylinder probe. It is fitted at the top of the engine block. It contains intake and exhaust part of the manifold. At one side, there is a fitting of exhaust manifold, as well as at the other side there is fitting of the inlet manifold. The inlet and exhaust valves, then valve spring, then spark plug in case of SI engine, and the fuel injector in case of the compression ignition engines are fitted in the cylinder head. The main function of the cylinder head is to seal the engine block by, we can say, through leakage of the gases. Generally, cylinder head is made of cast iron or aluminum. Now, next part is piston. Piston is the heart, you can say it is the heart of engine. Main function of the piston is to transmit the power that has been produced due to the burning of the fuel inside the cylinder. So, transmit the pressure of the explosion of fuel to the crankshaft via connecting rod by converting the reciprocating motion of piston into rotary motion of the, we can say, crankshaft. Piston reciprocate in the cylinder with a tight fit, so there will be no leakage of any expanded gases during its reciprocating motion in the cylinder. It should have sufficient strength, so it can withstand the pressure that has been exerted due to the expansion of the gases. Piston may be made up of cast iron or aluminum alloy. Now, for leak-proof and smooth running of the piston inside the cylinder, the piston rings are provided at the circumference of the piston. Piston moves freely in the cylinder with the minimum friction. For that, there is a sealing spring is provided. The upper ring, see, this is the top ring, and this is the second ring. That are called the pressure ring. And next is oil ring. The pressure ring generally do not leak the gases from the top of the combustion chamber to the downward side of the piston. The oil ring is provided in the in the lower groove, which generally prevents the leakage of oil from any side to the cylinder. So, for the free running as well as for sealing the gas and sealing the oil to enter in the cylinder, these rings are provided. Generally, spring is split at one end, so as and when it gets heated or it is necessary to have some expansion, then it can accommodate with the split during its running also. Lower oil ring is provided seal against the leakage of the oil in the cylinder. It is made of cast iron having high elastic strength, so it cannot destroy due to the high pressure during the operation of the piston inside the cylinder. See, these are the three rings which are inserted at the grooves that have been provided at the circumference of the piston. Generally, upper two rings are compression ring and lower ring is oil ring, which have its special function either to prevent the leakage of gases as well as to prevent the leakage of oil inside the cylinder. Generally, material for the ring is cast iron or alloy spring steel, and it is generally manufactured with the use of, we can say, proper method. Then next part is connecting rod. Connecting rod connect the piston and crankshaft. Suppose piston is connected with the piston, connecting rod is connected with the piston at the small end, the gudgeon pin, or we can say piston pin. This end which is connected with the piston is called small end. At the either end, the connecting rod is connected with the crankshaft, so this end is called the big end. this end is connected with the, we can say, connecting rod bearing the crankshaft. So generally reciprocating motion of the piston is transmitted into rotary motion by this connecting rod. So connecting rod should have sufficient strength to withstand the two types of load, either compressive load as well as tensile load, and also it is exerted the bending load, so it should have sufficient strength. Now next part is crankshaft. Crankshaft have certain cranks over the length, so it is generally crankshaft is known as the backbone of the IC engine, contain one or more eccentric portion which is called crank. This is called the crank. This is the eccentric portion on the crank. It is mounted with the bearing on the crankcase to rotate freely without friction. So it is mounted on crankcase with suitable bearing arrangement, so it rotates freely during its rotary motion. The shape and arrangement of this crankshaft is depend upon the number of cylinder in case of the multi-cylinder system. It is made of steel forging. Sometimes it is special type of cast iron or nickel alloy is also used for manufacturing the, we can say, crankshaft. See here the one end of the connecting rod is fitted, that is big end with the connecting with the crankshaft, and here there is a crankshaft bearing. So there is a, we can say, frictionless running or frictionless rotation of the crankshaft. Here there is a crankshaft bearing which is fitted with the crankcase, so it is rotated friction freely over the crankshaft bearing in the crankcase. Now next part is the engine bearing. So we know that there are two types of bearing mostly in the IC engine. One is connecting rod bearing and other is crankshaft bearing. The big end of the connecting rod is connected with the crankshaft by the connecting rod bearing, and the crankshaft rests on the crankcase with the suitable bearing arrangement. That is called crankshaft bearing in the engine system. It provides the smooth running or we can say frictionless running during its operation. Bearing reduce the friction between the rotating parts. So generally it is made of steel or bronze. Then next part, crankcase. Crankcase is nothing but it is a bowl type arrangement in which lubricant oil is kept. It is fitted with the lower portion of the engine block. Generally, the 4-speed lubricating system oil is lifted from the crankcase to the various parts by the lubricating pump, and in case of flash system of the lubrication, the oil is flashed that has been kept in the crankcase or in the oil pan, and it is splashed to the various parts of the engines which are rotating with each other in sliding motion or in rotating motion. It is generally of having bowl shape. See, this is the bowl shape. This may be called crankcase or oil pan. It is fitted at the lower part of the engine block. Oil can be kept inside. It is material of it is cast iron, steel alloy, aluminum alloy. This shape is, you can see the. Now next is the valve or valve mechanism for mainly for operating the opening and closing of the inlet and exhaust valve. There is a mechanism called valve. See in the figure here, one is exhaust valve and another is inlet valve. So function of this valve, you know that for entry of the fresh air we must have inlet valve to open during the suction stroke, and at the time after the air fuel mixture is burned and hot gases are produced, piston edge move from top dead center to bottom dead center in the power stroke, and after that from the engine is filled with the burnt gases. Then at that time we have to expel the burnt gases outside the cylinder. So at that time piston moves from bottom dead center to the top dead center, and at that time this exhaust valve remains. So there are two types of valve. One is inlet valve for entry of the fresh charge, and another is the exhaust valve for exit of the burnt gases in case of our four-stroke engine. So generally this valve opening and closing of the valve is generally maintained by the valve operating mechanism which runs through the camshaft and valve mechanism of the engine. See here you can see in multi-cylinder there may be more than one inlet valve as well as exhaust valve for entry as well as exit of the either fresh air or burnt gases from the engine cylinder. Now next part is the spark plug. Generally in our petrol engine or our two-stroke engine, air fuel mixture is not ignited itself because temperature of the mixture at the end of the compression stroke is not too high. So it is necessary to have certain ignition system for the ignition of the air fuel mixture inside the cylinder. So this spark plug is used in the two-stroke engine or our petrol engine for producing the spark for the burning of the fuel. So this main function of the spark plug is to produce spark as and when the piston reaches at the top dead center at the end of the compression stroke, or we can say at the end of the forward stroke. Air fuel mixture which has kept in the, we can say, clearance volume, the spark that has been developed by the spark plug ignite the air fuel mixture and burns and produce the hot gases which compress the piston down. So this is the function of spark plug. Now in case of our four-stroke engine, or we can say our diesel engine, we are introducing air, only air in the suction stroke, and fuel is injected at the end of the compression stroke at a particular instant with the help of the fuel injector. So for injecting the fuel at the end of the compression stroke in the four-stroke diesel engine, this fuel injector is provided. This fuel injector injects the fuel in a automized manner, rather we can say in the spray manner, so it can be ignited easily. It is fitted on the cylinder head. Generally for entry of the fresh air or air fuel mixture or an exit of the burnt gases, there is a arrangement of we can say a manifold. These manifold are of two types: inlet manifold and exhaust manifold. For say entry of the fresh air, there is a inlet manifold which is fitted with the cylinder head, and generally it is made up of aluminum alloy. Now next part is camshaft. Camshaft has this lobe type arrangement, or we can say oval type arrangement, which lift the valve mechanism, and it regulates the opening of inlet and exhaust valve during the operation of the engine. Generally, camshaft receive the power with the suitable gear arrangement, or we can say sprocket and chain arrangement from the crankshaft with this suitable arrangement. Generally, this camshaft rotate half the speed of the crankshaft. Means for pure revolution of the crankshaft, only one revolution is produced in the camshaft. This can be done by using, we can say, different size of the gear or different size of the sprocket on the crankshaft and a camshaft. This is the lobe, or we can say extended portion, which pushes the valve assembly to open or close the valve inside the engine cylinder. Now next is the flywheel. You have seen flywheel in IC engine, or we can say diesel engine. Generally it is of mostly in the diesel engine, flywheel size is heavy. Generally it is fitted over the crankshaft at one end. Generally in case of diesel engine, the size of flywheel in terms of size as well as in weight, it is heavier than rather than we can say in the two-stroke petrol engine, because whatever force that has been produced in the power stroke goes through the piston to connecting rod and the crankshaft and stored in the flywheel, so that the engine can run smoothly and maintain fair speed for its constant running by storing this excess energy in the flywheel. So this is the main function of the flywheel, the engine.